Today, I'm going to be telling you about why puppy mills should not be supported. First off, let me tell you about puppy mills. So when I say puppy, what are you thinking? You're probably thinking a ton of energy, puppy breath, playful, the whining, the crying, and yes, those are all things that I think about too when I hear a puppy because I myself have one. Though, when I'm talking about puppies from puppy mills, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so let me just go ahead and show you them. Is that what you thought? How about that? This? How about these? So, that is exactly why I do not think puppy mills should be supported. According to ASPCA, a puppy mill is a large-scale commercial dog breeding operation where profit is given priority over the well-being of the animal. So, my thesis for today is puppy mills should not be supported due to their lack of USDA regulations, they do not take care of the animals, and the after effects that come with a puppy from puppy mills, both via disease and family distress. So, let's talk about the unregulated USDA rules. We have clean water and food, adequate shelter, and veterinary care. This is what it is. This is what the USDA requires if you are going to house any sort of animals in an area. Though, this is actually not what you get when you think of puppy mills, just like those pictures that I showed you. Puppy mills actually treats these dogs as cash crops. And with cash crops, it's quantity over quality. So obviously they are not going to waste money on good food and good water and good shelter and veterinary care if they're not going to make a huge profit out of it. So, according to the Humane Society, inspection records obtained by the HSUS show that many USDA licensed breeders get away with repeated violations of the Animal Welfare Act. These violators are rarely fined and their licenses are rarely suspended. Facilities with long histories of repeated violations for basic care conditions are often allowed to renew their license. This is just not right. If they obviously do not care for the animals, why do we keep giving them a second chance? There are about 10,000 puppy mills here in the US, and I found out that 43 of them are repeat offenders to this. So, as I keep talking, another quote that I found from ASPCA is, they often do nothing to uphold the health and integrity of the breed and usually could care less if it's unethical. This is because, like I said earlier, they are treated as a cash crop, and so they want more profit rather than the quality of the dog. Moving on to my next point, we have malnourished. So, what we see here is rescued animals found are malnourished. So what the USDA does is when they find out that a place or a facility has been suspected of these regulations not being followed, they'll actually raid the facility. Many of these pictures that I've taken from the internet are pictures during a USDA raid. And as you can see, a lot of them are malnourished. These pictures I don't think were specifically from any raids, but a lot of them are. So, according to HSVMA, breeding dogs in puppy mills often suffer from injuries and diseases that go untreated. Injuries and disorders that don't affect the dog's reproductive capabilities are rarely treated. So like it says, is the reproductive ones, if it doesn't affect the reproductive, they're not going to treat it because they don't need to. They just need to get the dog to the seller so that they can make money. But if it is the reproductive, they'll actually fix it because, like it says here, they're killed if they can't reproduce. And according to PETA, female dogs are bred twice a year and usually killed or abandoned when they are no longer able to produce puppies. Mothers and their litters often suffer from malnutrition and exposure. This is just not fair in general. Aftermath. So the aftermath with these puppies comes from diseases from being contained in such a small area, as well as family distress through financial and emotional support. So these diseases are because, like I said, the confined space, they are right next to each other. They're going to the bathroom on each other, and then they're laying in it. And one dog has a disease, now the next dog has one. And so, according to ASPCA, 80 dogs that were rescued in July 21st, 2011 from a puppy mill in Hertford, NC. The veterinary local intake reported almost 50% of the dogs had parasites, 23 suffered from ear infections, and 15 suffered from any other kind of disease. That just goes to show you right there the conditions of what a puppy mill would actually look like. Moving on to family distress. This is both financially and emotionally because according to ASPCA, when faced with a sick or dying puppy, most people choose not to give the puppy back but to rather focus on the efforts of saving the animal. This not only affects the money in your pocket for trying to save the animal, but if you don't save the animal or you can't save the animal, the heartbreak that comes along with that can be very emotionally distressful for your family. In conclusion, puppy mills should not be supported as they do not follow USDA regulations, they do not take care of their puppies, and the aftermath of it through diseases and family distress is terrible. I want to leave you with one thing. According to Petpedia, puppy mills are actually not required to report their death statistics, though, according to the Puppy Mill Project, that number ranges to about 1.2 million per year.